Persephone wished she could take it and just move to Germany tomorrow, but she had vowed to herself to have all the weight off before she went to see Jasmine. She considered it an investment when she purchased the black '89 Volvo for just under $3,700. Her argument was that now she would have transportation and could possibly find employment in the suburbs. But after driving out to countless job listings and a few promising interviews with employers looking for computer operators, no one seemed interested in hiring her. Job hunting had proven to be one of the most depressing tasks she had ever had to endure in her entire life. The help wanted ads in the Sunday edition of the Detroit News were packed with computer jobs, but the majority were through temporary agencies. Persephone was reluctant to get a temporary job. Those could last 5 years, and the employer saving a bundle on medical expenses by not hiring the temporary worker in a permanent capacity. In the months since Persephone's termination from CMB, she felt herself being dragged down into a deep emotional rut. Not even full blown depression, but tiptoeing that ever so thin line. The most physical activity Persephone gave her body was changing the channel on her television set or searching for the remote control. All the while, she'd munch on whatever junk food she had loaded up on that day. Persephone had taken a few days, weeks actually, off from her job search, and one morning while watching the Phil Donahue show, she happened upon a solution for her lack of enthusiasm about her future. The show was about creating new challenges in your life. She didn't necessarily need to climb Mount Everest like one of the guests had accomplished, or even become a Guinness Book of World Record holder like another guest did. But she did need a challenge. Yes, she knew that getting the job was a big challenge, but that wasn't quite what the show tried to convey. It was more about living out your dreams, or to Persephone, about daring to dream. That's when she had started the research and preparation necessary for her stand up comedy routine. Her friends and family had always told her how funny she was. "Girl, you crazy," they'd confess after doubling over in laughter at one of Persephone's quick retorts. She had soon decided, though, that she didn't want any friends or family in the audience when she made her big debut. An audience of strangers would be a more honest judge of her stand-up routine than a bunch of hand-picked friends who would cheer her on no matter what she did up there. "Okay, so moving along now," the MC said with a little giggle. "Our next and final comic this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is a lady from the Detroit area who is new to the comedy circuit." The MC was getting a bit repetitive in his intros, but "Put your hands together, people, for Persephone." Sounds more like a statement about some guy named Percy than someone's name, but anyway, maybe she can set us straight. Come on out here, whoever you are. Persephone stood up, taking in a deep breath as she did so, and took a few steps necessary to get out of the door. Once out, she made a right and walked through the dark backstage area to the waving guy in the tiger's cap. He pointed to the metal staircase that had been rolled up and locked in place next to the back of the stage. Persephone mounted the stairs, allowing herself a smile as she thanked the man in the cap for holding on to the bottom of the banister. The stairs seemed to waver a little when Stephanie mounted the second step. Stephanie took center stage as a stand-up comedian for the first time in her 34 years of life and was immediately greeted by a heckler. "Hey, yeah, a stripper! Rock and roll!" A goofy-looking white man with big black framed glasses on, blurted out from one of the tables near the front of the stage. Some of the people in the audience were snickering at this. Persephone didn't miss a beat. She shot back with, "No, I'm sorry to inform you, Mr. White Man. I won't be stripping this evening, but I thank you for sharing your wet dreams with everybody." The crowd screamed with laughter and hearty applause. Persephone couldn't believe it was actually that easy. No way. The goofy white guy wasn't even in the script. What's up? Persephone was suddenly having a difficult time repressing the silly grin that was making an unwelcome appearance on her face and wouldn't go away. It was the adrenaline that was being pumped through her body faster than the speed of light. She almost wanted to walk off after capturing the big laugh in her first seconds out. She was in the time zone of the comatose. She couldn't tell you how long a second felt or if a minute could actually be an hour. But she knew she'd better get this thing started. "How's everybody doing out there?" Persephone questioned, instantly regretting sounding too much like Laura Brady. Wanting to sound professional, she added, "How about Patrick and Mark? Ladies and gentlemen." The crowd applauded their approval of the two. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to my Aunt Lola May," Persephone began, surprising herself as she began a 15-minute act that she had only flirted with while rehearsing her main scripted routine. She had put it out there for some reason, probably the adrenaline, so she had to chase it. In her best backwoods Mississippi Southern Negro drawl, Persephone continued. "Y'all come on in here. Not for y'all let on them flies in here." The timbers for Persephone's strong voice gave her a more countrified edge, and she worked her mouth like she had no teeth, making her character more authentic. "Come on here now and get your Aunt Lola May a hug." Persephone, as Aunt Lola May, dramatically hugged her invisible self. Persephone felt herself gaining control of her heart rate, and things seemed to flow for her now. She released the embrace and returned to the microphone. "Ooh, wee girl, your breast stink." She made an exaggerated frown and flared her nose as more than a few in the audience laughed along. "Must be smoking them nasty-ass cigarettes. They make your breath smell like purdy shit. But I guessing it's better you smoke them damn cigarettes than that shit Calvin be smoking." Persephone was working her mouth, searching for imaginary teeth. "Calvin comes over here, and I was to wear my pocketbook around my neck like a string of pearls." She threw in a bowed head shuffle and faked a buck scratch through her leather coat. That got a few laughs, but she knew this wasn't working. She was supposed to say, "He stole my false teeth and all my Social Security money." First, she was supposed to say that first. "I blew it," Persephone thought. Persephone had prepared herself for the lull. She just didn't think it would come so soon. "Well, rest your coat, sister, and make yourself to home." With this statement, Persephone untied her belted leather coat and took it off, letting it fall to the floor. It landed in a heap around her ankles. The purple silk blouse she had chosen to wear was now clinging to her upper body from all the perspiration that had been soaking her under the leather and hot lights. The men were going crazy with laughter and applause and whistles, and the women were laughing hysterically. "Persephone! Nah, baby, nah, you knows. I don't tell you nothing unless I know it to be you good. So listen to your Aunt Lola May. You understand?"